Saquon, obviously with a loss like this, a lot of questions to be asked about Kevin Patullo. Like, how do you think he did in his first season as offensive leader?
I think we all could have been better. At the end of the day, we as a collective didn't make enough plays. People are gonna have their opinions, and people are gonna say what they want to say. I'm really not in the right mindset right now to kind of expand on what I think. Fresh off a loss, I'm upset, I'm frustrated, more with myself. I'm a big believer you got to start with yourself. And throughout the season, didn't make enough plays, and today, didn't make enough plays. And I think if we all hold ourselves accountable and stay true to ourselves, we all will be able to say the same thing.
Obviously it's hard.
You would find the answers. It seems like you guys have been searching the whole year for the full 60 minutes. Did you think you would find the answers?
Yeah, super confident that we would, and we just did it. And obviously, right now, you should be frustrated. You should feel pain. Our season's over, but I guarantee when we go back and watch the film, it's a common theme, and that common theme is us not making enough plays and stalling our drives. It's easy to point the finger at one person. That's for you guys, but internally, we didn't do enough as a collective.
Obviously it's hard to repeat as Super Bowl champs. Not many
and
teams
as a collective, like I'll own up to it first. Like I'll take full responsibility. I didn't make enough plays. All of us, we got to be honest with each other, and that's the truth.
It's hard to repeat as Super Bowl champs. Obviously, not many teams have done it. Do you think you guys ever felt that pressure at any point this season?
I don't think so. I don't really want to speak for the team, but in my opinion, no. I didn't feel that pressure. We were just kind of searching all year to try to get this thing going. We just did it, and you have the belief and the confidence of the players that we have and the coaches that we have that we're going to get it going, and we kind of came out pretty hot on the offensive side of the ball. Put together a pretty good first half. Obviously, one more, and we didn't execute, and then we didn't finish the game. And that's just kind of been a common theme all year. And it catches up to you when it catches up to you, and it mattered most right now in the playoffs.
Saquon, going up and down this whole season through the hardships, I know right now how you feel, but in a couple of weeks, will you look at this season as a success or a disappointment?
I come from the school of thought that you don't win a Super Bowl this season is disappointment. Even if I rushed for All-Pro and 2,000 yards last year and we didn't win, kind of all that for nothing. There's only one winner and 31 losers, to be honest. So we got to go back to the drawing board first, take time with our families, let our bodies heal, and sit on it. It should hurt. I know it hurts for me. And it may not make sense right now, but it's a little adversity, and got to feel that and let that fuel you throughout the off season and get ready for next year.
What was Smith's message to you guys after the game?
The biggest thing I took from it, even when you win, this locker room that we have right now, this team that we have right now, it's not going to be the same. Whether you win the Super Bowl or if you lose. So more just showing appreciation to all the guys. And, some guys spoke and let that be heard and let that be known. And, for me, obviously the season didn't go the way that we would like. But probably one of my favorite teams I've ever been a part of. Through the ups and downs, I think we did a really good job of staying with each other and not letting the outside noise, have an impact on us. We just didn't get it done. But that was kind of the message, of just showing appreciation of all the guys who came to work every single day and gave it their all.
You guys last year, when you got over, were able to kind of choke teams out. You could run the ball, even when they knew you were going to run the ball. Was that simply a matter of execution this time around? Because it seemed like this year it was much more of a struggle in the second half to kind of get you the whole thing going.
Yeah, I've been vocal about that. Second half definitely was different from last year, but last year was last year. This year was a new year, and I just don't think we ever improved on that. And there's plays out there that needed to be made, and we didn't make it as a collective. Coach said it. You know, they play better than us and they coach better than us. And when that happens, more times than not, you lose football games.
This is going to come off as a loaded question, and I don't mean it to be, but it was hard as an outsider not to watch the way they were playing offensively, the chances they were taking, you know, a double reverse pass to take the lead and throws over the middle, that it seemed like, again, to an outsider, you guys might have been playing a little more conservatively. Is that fair?
I don't think we were playing conservative. I think it comes down to execution. You know, a lot of the same calls we had, like, I know it was a new offensive coordinator and new guys, but like we kind of stuck with the same script, to be honest, of what we did last year. And it's easy to say that if when you're not making the plays. You know, I gotta go back and watch film, but I guarantee you there's about 5 runs. There's always 5 runs, whether you rush for 200 yards or rush for 12 yards, that you're gonna want back. And it's easy to say that when you're not making the plays. And you know, if we're making the plays, that's not the case. No one's gonna say, you know, we're being conservative, we're doing this. We just didn't make enough plays.
But it's harder to make plays when you're running the same stuff that teams have seen before.
I mean, everybody runs the same thing in this league. You know, you just dress it up differently. That's just the truth. Inside zone is inside zone. Outside zone is outside zone. Everybody do the same thing. The difference is in this offense it might be called smoke. In another offense it might be called spider. You know, we all steal from each other. If someone has a good play against a certain type of defense, we'll be like, we're going to add that in. But at the end of the day, we just didn't make enough plays. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I can't speak for everybody. That's how I personally feel. You know, if they call inside zone and we call inside zone and they run it better than us, they just ran it better than us. They executed better than us. That's just my mindset. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my mindset.
Is it frustrating?
Saquon, please.
Is it frustrating though that when you go back and practice, you get your game plan down, you think you're going to execute, you think you got this whole thing, and then kind of the same thing, the same kind of inconsistency keeps rising up.
Yeah, it's frustrating. You know, because we work hard, and you want to go out there and you want to, you know, put out a product that people can be happy with and put out a product that's going out there and win football games. But again, it's been a common theme. It's you know, it's easy to be like, we expect to get to the playoff and it's going to change, and it just didn't. You know, you tell me a time, we played 18 games this year. You tell me a time on offense we put together 2 halves, and I bet you it's under 5. You know what I mean? And we expected, you know, that's a confidence you should have, that we're going to go out there and make it work. But we just didn't. We just didn't do it. And it caught up to us. It caught up to us in the playoffs. And in the playoffs in the NFL, it's not the NBA. You know, you don't get 7 games, best of 7. It's whoever's the best that day. And they were the better team. And congrats to those guys. They have hell of players. Obviously, I talked about Christian early in the week. I think he did a hell of a job today. And wish him nothing but the best.
All right, thanks.
Go out there and execute well.
Were there some issues with throwing the ball downhill into the wind?
No, I wouldn't say that. You know, I feel like we had a nice little flow. We some things we couldn't execute on, and we did get, you know, some good plays. Some of them got called back. Just didn't execute.
How would you describe your emotions right now, Tom?
I don't know. It is what it is.
As you mentioned before, in terms of the offense, you know, what do you think it was today in the second half that kept you guys from producing like you did in the first half?
We didn't execute. We wasn't executing as well as we was in the first half.
So when you say execution, you mean just kind of players?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I ain't pointing nobody out, but you know, we just didn't execute offensively as a whole. You know, whether it was one misassignment, you know, things like that. You probably pull up a play where somebody on all living probably didn't execute well. And you can pull a play for probably everybody.
Was today's performance indicative of how inconsistent the offense was throughout the season?
I don't know. I feel like it's been the same thing. We go out there, we don't execute. When we do get something good, we shoot ourselves in the foot. We wasn't a team that played 4 quarters offensively.
Obviously,
Did they do anything?
Bow out.
initial reflection on the season right
I mean, it was long. I mean, it was tough, but I wouldn't trade anything for it. I mean, having the ups and downs, we got closer from it. I love this group, love playing with them. But yeah, I mean, it's tough going out like this. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I love these dudes, and I wish them the best.
Reed, when it ends so abruptly, how hard is that? When you look around this room, I see you guys hugging everyone, all your teammates, knowing this group most likely won't stay the same completely.
Yeah, like I said, this is one of the toughest things about football and about life. Like, you go through the challenges throughout the year, training camp, whatever, and you create these relationships, these bonds, and it ends so fast, and you're not really prepared for it, and it's tough. I mean, it sucks, but that's football, that's life. We just gotta learn from this and grow from it.
now. What happened? What was your interpretation of holding penalty?
Yeah, I should have never, held him. I thought it was pretty late, but at the end of the day, I just got to be better at doing that and be better at doing my job.
Reed, you guys all year long have been really successful in limiting explosives and red zone defense. Obviously, those two things weren't so good today. What did you see there? What went wrong?
Yeah, they just made more plays than we did. We knew it was going to be a challenge coming in here, and congrats to them for making the plays and taking the opportunities.
Can you take me through the double reverse touchdown?
Yeah, we knew that. I mean, they would like to do some sort of trickery down in the red zone, and we were just in a different call that that allowed him just to sneak through. When things start going, which way in front of you and stuff, you just gotta find your man, and you just gotta be better. You just gotta play with our eyes, and just take that play away.
And while you haven't had time to reflect about the season, will you look at this as a success? Will you look at this as a disappointment? What do you think you'll describe it as in a couple weeks?
I mean, yeah, we've had success throughout the year. You're not just going to be completely disappointed, but at the end of the day, how I am, I'm going to be disappointed and carry it on through the off season and use that as motivation.
You mentioned the ups and downs of the seasons, up and down in this game. First drive, and then Quignon gets a couple picks. What was your takeaway of, at least, coming back from that, the rebounding in the middle of the game?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to capitalize on that. I mean, Q played a heck of a game. You have 2 picks like that, put us in the league with the turnover. Pull through with it. We just got to keep on making plays and not let them get in scoring position. At the end of the day. So.
Yeah, it was lurk. It was like man-to-man coverage. Kind of like outside leverage flavor. That what happened. They scored a touchdown.
How do you reflect on the season as a whole? I know it's just
it's hard to say right now because we just kind of we lost and we got put out first round of the playoffs. For me personally, it's like I got a little. I can say I'm proud of myself a little bit, just coming back from the injury that I had and being able to and come back and feel like I'm a better player than what I was before, not just the same. So I'm a little bit proud, but it's also a little bit disappointing as far as we wanted to play longer. We wanted to go and go late in the postseason and win it. And then it's also for me, it's I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple months. Next couple weeks, a couple months, so it's I don't know if I'm finna play with the guys that I done played with for 4 years, or I done built a relationship with, or the guys that I went to school with and I was playing. So I'm kind of going through all them emotions, but yeah.
Did that just hit you, or is that something you're thinking about?
It kind of hit me when they started nailing the ball, because it was I didn't think we was gonna lose that game up until we didn't get the 4th down conversion. So. That's when it kind of started hitting me. Started asking for everybody's jersey, because you just don't know. Yeah.
Why is it so hard to compete
They take the league makes sure they take you through a ringer of schedule, of a lot of like night game, like Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, short weeks and everything like that, weird weeks. But that's really it. You just gotta come back every year. You gotta know the type of things you gotta do every year. You gotta reset it. To me, when it come to, I guess, repeating, is you're not defending your title. You're going to get another one. So, and that's kind of how you gotta look at it. So, yeah.
Nakobe, through all the hardships that you mentioned for yourself and this team this season, how much do you feel like you left potential out there with how talented this defensive group is this year?
Man, we say we left. I want to say we left it out there. I mean, they made more plays than us today. It was a new season, you know, and the postseason is a new season. Everybody's 0-0, and we just happened to lose. That was it, really. I mean, I know everybody gonna look at the film. We probably ain't gonna look at it together now because it's the end of the season. But everybody gonna look at the film. We're gonna see things that you can get better at. But yeah, they made more plays than us.
Cooper, he was just trying to finish his block. It's always tough when the DB kind of flails out of it and gets that call. He's just one of the ones that, as he grows as a player, he'll know when to let go.
As far as the extended dry spells on offense, though, you guys didn't score a touchdown after that 99-yard drive. What was holding you up after that?
Yeah, like I said, you know, we had a couple penalties that put us behind the sticks.
From your standpoint, how hard is it to repeat, knowing that you've been a Super Bowl champion, but to come back, the grind of the season, and then it ended here? How hard is it from your standpoint?
Yeah, obviously I've never been able to repeat, so not a lot of teams do. There's been a couple throughout the league, but, you know, it's tough. Each year is a new team. Each year has its own battles, and, you know, we didn't finish how we wanted to this year.
Now that can you tell us what your thoughts are on how the offense produced this year, whether you thought it was consistent enough, and what you thought of Kevin Patullo's first season?
Yeah, you know, I think Kevin did a good job putting us in situations we didn't always execute. We put ourselves behind the sticks more often than we should have. You know, we got enough playmakers on this team that we should be able to battle through anything. And you know, looking at the end of the day, being able to win the division, being able to you know, being the opportunity to go and win a playoff game at the end of the game is kind of what you want in a season. You know, you can never say you were good enough. There's always things that we could be better at. But you know, just looking back at the year, it was a great year.
And how was your year in your mind? You got all those touchdowns. You made history today as a rushing and receiving touchdown. What did you expect coming into the season, and how did it play out for you personally?
Yeah, just like always, I had high expectations for myself, for this team. You know, really proud of the way we handled adversity as a team. Didn't get it done today, which sucks, but you know, I thought it was a good year with a tough ending.
You mentioned the playmakers that this offense has and the inconsistency this season. How much do you feel like maybe you guys left something on the table here this postseason when you look at this roster just on paper?
Yeah, you know, it seems like there's 32 teams with 32 really good rosters. So I know we got great people on this team that always want more, but got a lot of love for everybody in the building.
And you've been in this league a long time, and you see this locker room right now hugging teammates. It ends so abruptly. How do you deal with these emotions knowing most likely this team won't look the exact same next year?
Yeah, it's always tough. You know, unless you win the big one, you're always sad at the end of the year.
That's good this year. I know it's fresh, but is there something you can attribute that to?
I think right now, just as a player, it's the same story. Early penalties, shooting ourselves in the foot, and then execution of crucial downs. And guys, whether it be me or someone else, just one block away. Same story every week, but that's pretty much how I sum it up, just from the get-go, just from the onset.
How frustrating is that, though?
That's super frustrating.
The same thing.
Super frustrating. There's no other way to put it. It's, yeah.
When you had much bigger goals this season, and for it to end so abruptly, I saw you hugging all your teammates. Take us through the emotions of how quickly it ends.
I had to stop hugging my teammates because I was getting too emotional. But you know, it's rough. You know, I thought we were in it. I thought we were really going to win this game. I'm to be honest, I didn't want to talk to you guys because I'm still trying to process what just happened. Believed to the last minute that we were going to win that game, and for it to end like that, it's kind of just like, it's hard to believe. So I still can't. I don't know how to process it, to be honest. Feeling-wise, just really upset. So I just maybe sleeping on it and seeing you guys in the locker room tomorrow. Hopefully have some better answers. But right now I just can't really. Yeah, it sucks. Losing sucks, especially like that. So.
Were you able to put like a finger on like what, you know, why there's some mistakes occurring?
Maybe it's lack of focus, lack of communication. To me, it's easy to pinpoint that, but yeah, you can't play behind the sticks. You can't be 1st and 20. You're like, how many drives did we start off with a penalty? You know, and especially in that second half, because I thought we did some great things in the first half, rolling them, run game and passing game, did some great things, and in the second half we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot with an early penalty, and you can't really win games like that. And it's the same thing. All it takes is just a little bit extra focus. Yeah, just critical mistakes at the worst timing ever.
How much do you think injuries maybe played a role in the line this year? Like maybe just kind of going through some things.
I think everyone in the league, everyone can vouch for this. Nobody's 100% when they play a game, especially late into the year. You know, you want your star players to play in the game, so whether they're battling an injury or not, you know, they're going to play. Not because of payroll, but because of the passion and the pride that they have to not let their fellow linemen down. And so I can't speak for Jurgen and Landon, but I know damn well their character. I know how much they fought this year to be ready every Sunday that they could play.
Jordan, Kevin comes back and says, what did you see enough out of him this year that makes you confident going forward? And if so, what are those things that you've seen?
That's too deep of a question. I can't answer that. Sorry.
Fred did a valiant job filling in for Landon.
100%.
How hard is it to fill those shoes for that long portion of the season?
I mean, I'm not just saying it because Fred's over here listening, but man, he's done an amazing job all year just filling in. That's a big shoes to fill, but he made his own shoes, you know, and I think he did a great job all year. Very consistent, very dependable. But that's just the way he prepares every week. And there's a reason why we brought him back, and yeah, I love that guy, man. I love you, Fred. He said I love you too.
He's paying close attention.
Yeah. What do you think of the way the defense played? Not just today, but overall this year.
You know, I think our defense, man, they were honestly the core of this locker room, and the energy and the passion every week in and out. To me, they were the one consistent thing throughout the whole year, and it sucks that we couldn't go out there and have their back. Put up more points. So, yeah.
And Jordan, we talked a lot in training camp. We know how hard it is to repeat as Super Bowl champions. You guys were adamant you wanted a fresh start. When you look back, which you haven't had time to yet, on this season, how difficult was it to succeed after that win?
Honestly, I thought we did a great job of doing that. I think people outside the building were pretty confused about why we had that mentality, and I honestly thought there was only people outside the building who, you know, had kicked it up or made a big fuss about it. You know, I thought we were pretty adamant, and everybody was pretty focused on just, again, proving ourselves this year. And we got to go earn it, and so yeah, I thought I wouldn't change anything about it. I thought that was the right move to do, just because we had a bunch of young faces and new guys, new additions to the team, and for them it was just we just like them, they're trying to earn a spot, prove themselves in the team. So we just got to do it together as a team. And so, yeah, don't regret anything that we did. Sorry, my button just came off.
A lot of things change in an off season. Who are you going to miss? Whose face are you going to miss seeing the most in the locker room on a daily basis?
Man, I had a moment with Dallas, and I wasn't crying until I saw him. So yeah, we've been together for 8 years, and man, we just played a lot of ball together. So a lot of time in the locker room, and so that one was hard for me. You know, I don't know what's going to happen next year. I hope we bring him back, but yeah, he was one face definitely immediately after the game that I had to stay away from because I would just cry. So.
For Lane Johnson to try and practice all week and dealing with that injury, trying to come back, Lane Johnson as well, a guy you've played a long time with. What did you think of his effort this week?
I mean, expecting nothing less. That's what Lane does, and you know, if Lane could go, he would. He's done it before, and you know, it just sucks that we couldn't win this game and get him back next week. So I expect nothing less of Lane to try his absolute best and try and come back for us this week, but you know, fortunately just wasn't ready to go. So yeah.
Maybe a mirror image of the whole year. It just seemed like you guys just couldn't put the whole package together at key times.
It's really unfortunate how things shook up. Obviously, it's not the best game that we played on both sides. It's disappointing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Nobody plans for losing in the playoffs and stuff, but all we could do now is just watch the film and move forward. I don't want to make comparisons to our other games and stuff like that because this is a new season, playoff season, and unfortunately we fell short, but this is an opportunity for us to grow.
What was the key for them in terms of making the key offensive plays when they had to tonight?
I think more just being disciplined. I think penalties got us at the end. A few passes. All that just combined, we didn't play our best game. I mean, that's just from a discipline standpoint. Kudos to them, though. You know, they earned it fair and square. They came in our house and they got it. But at the end of the day, we put that on us. And, it shouldn't have been a situation where we got into a situation like that, but that's how the game fell.
And we know the season, when it ends abruptly. And your teammates were telling us Nick Sirianni spoke to the team. You see a lot of emotions in this room. Can you take us in the moments where you go home and all of a sudden the season ends?
Yeah, coming in here and just seeing the guys, obviously nobody plans for stuff like this, but I think it was important for everybody to know how much that I loved them, how much that we loved the program, the organization, the bond that we built this year. We had our ups and downs, but families fight, and we became better because of it. And not only just knowing that the guys in this room, but just knowing that the team won't be the same moving forward next year. And I think that's what hurts the most is that it's going to be some faces that we won't see, and that's just the unfortunate way that we had to end out. We always want to make sure that we reach the highest highs and we reach the highest peak, but when you fall short like this, it's important to know that no matter where we go, the things that we learned this year, the lessons that we learned this year, the love that we shared, it's invaluable. So emotionally wise, everybody's feeling it, and I'm sure when we watch the film, everybody's going to have a different emotion, just the feeling of regret, and unfortunately, that's just the way it shakes.
Jordan Mailata called the Eagles defense the core of this team. He said you guys brought the energy, the personality every single day. It seems like every game this Eagles defense gave this team a chance to win. How much are you proud of this unit this year?
So proud. And I think that's one thing that, I choose to focus on is just the guys, the mentality, the way that we work, the love that we played, the joy that we shared, making practice, meetings, everything. It was
a joy to be in the building. It was a joy to be a part of this defense, and I'm just glad that I had the opportunity to just witness and to be a part of it. And I think this is just something that we have to keep the torch going into the next year. Everybody who's part of it understands, especially the ones that won it last year, understands how much and what it takes. And I think that's just motivating us to go into next year and hitting the ground running, starting hot, finishing hotter, and we'll let it shake out how it does.
You mentioned the faces, what Mike Cheney had. Talking to Nakobe just now, he was saying that it hit him that his future is uncertain. What has he meant to this defense? What do you think about how the future might be when you think of this group and his involvement in it?
Y'all know better than anybody how much I love Nakobe. Came in here together, and it's like you said, it's uncertain. We love to have everybody come back, and we love to have his face and his leadership and his poise and his effort and just everything about him, the way he plays the game. But it's just the NFL. I'm not here to make decisions. I'm only here to play and move forward. But it's unfortunate that it's just how the nature of the beast. It's the league. You can be here today and gone tomorrow, but love that man like a brother. That's all I can say right now. That's all I can say.
The rush you were sometimes getting today, what was the plan there, and how did you feel that showed about yourself in the steps you took this season?
I just wanted to be the best player I could be for this defense. However it may be. It's unfortunate. Just feels like, I think every player on defense and offense, I'm sure, it just felt like it wasn't enough. And, it's one thing that, you can put your best foot forward, you can put your best effort out there, you can fly around the field, but, when you have a result like this, it feels like it still isn't enough. And, we're in a league where people are asking for more and more and more and more, but, we demand so highly of ourselves. When stuff like this happens, we have to look internally. And I think a lot of us are on ourselves more than anybody else. And, it's just unfortunate. I hate it. But you have to learn. You have to move forward. You have to go upwards. And it's a learning lesson. It's a learning lesson.
You mentioned how high the standards are for yourself and in the NFL. When you do have some time to reflect, will you look at this season as a success because of the way the defense played, or will you look at this week and look at it as a disappointment because the goal was bigger?
The goal was bigger. And, I think people with selfish mentality go out of games and thinking that, that they were good or, stuff like that when the bigger goal hasn't been reached. And I think, for me at least, knowing that we didn't achieve what we wanted to achieve and, and the worst part is that it was at home. I think that's one thing for me is that it was at home. We never want to lose, but losing at home stinks. It sucks. And, my mindset and my journey is just improving. How can I get better from this? How can I get better? How can I be a better player? How can I be a better man? And it's just improving. I'm fortunate that I'll be here next year. But I want to make sure that we lead with the right foot forward and, we look internally and we figure out what we need to work on. Same thing that we've done every year since I've been here, and we just get better from there.
You mentioned it being at home. It's tough. Losing, and you can